What is up, folks? I am here today for my week 1 match of the PPFC. That is right, in case you guys didn't see my last video. I had announced that I am currently in a Pokemon Draft League, and if you don't know what that is, well, why don't you go check out the last video, because I explained it there. But yeah, today we're here for my week 1 match. We're going to be going over it. Hope you guys enjoy the video. And yeah, so the way I'm going to be doing this is I've decided, again, I'm not going to do like live commentary during the battles, because for one thing, I feel like the battles can sometimes take a little while, but also I think, you know, when I'm doing a match, I like to just kind of like focus in and not have to worry about like commentary or any of that stuff. So instead, I've decided I'm going to be doing post commentary over the match replays instead of doing it live. So hopefully you guys are cool with that. I think this makes for a better video, because, you know, I can sort of reflect and discuss my decision making process after the fact, instead of having to do it in real time. So yeah, hopefully you guys are cool with that. But anyway, for week 1, the first match of the season, my opponent was none other than Penny, also known as the Dreaded Witch. She's quite the skillful battler indeed. In fact, she was the champion last season, the PPFC in season 2. She won the whole thing, so definitely no slouch. My opponent this week, although to be fair, I don't think anyone in my division is a slouch really, because we got some strong battlers indeed. Yes. But before we jump straight into things, I want to first take a moment and talk about my team that I brought this week, and the sets I ran and why I brought them. So first and foremost, we got Rihanna Toxpex. Now, I knew Pex was a for sure bring this match, because this is my most solid answer against her Sneasler, which is a very, very scary Pokemon for my team. Unfortunately, can't really do anything to Pex. So we got the Rocky Helmet to take, you know, so we can switch into Sneasler, and it can, whenever it hits us, take a little extra chip. Regenerator, obviously, because of the, you know, that's what you run on Pex. Max HP with a lot of physical investment for Sneasler, and also some special defense EVs for Volcanion, which is also scary for my team. And Pex is one of my better switch-ins for it, so hence that. Of course, we got Recover, just standard. Haze, because the thing about Penny is I know she likes to bring a lot of setup guys, so I came prepared, packing Haze in case, you know, anything like, I don't know, like SD, Unburdened Sneasler or something like that. Can handle that quite easily. Also, if she decided to bring Frostmoth, which she also has, Peck's also a great answer to that, and Haze, I can just, you know, stop it from getting up Quiver Dances if she tries to do any of that. And then we just got Liquidation and Sludge Bomb for damage dealing moves. I have Liquidation mainly for Sneasler, because you know, I just needed like some way to hit it if like necessary, and Liquidation's like pretty much the strongest move I had to deal with it. Though it's not that strong, because it's, you know, it is Toxpex and not really known for damage output, but still, this is my best option, I think. I guess I could have run Chilling Water, but I wasn't really interested in that. You know, if she was gonna like Sneasler wasn't gonna do that much to Pex anyway, and if she was gonna like try to SD or whatever, then I had Haze anyway, so I didn't really think Chilly Water was necessary. I think I have Sludge Bomb. I mainly wanted another attacking move so I could hit stuff like Volcanion, because Volcanion could obviously, it has water absorbed, so it would not take any damage from Liquidation. And also, you know, just the chance for poison is nice. So there's that. Next we got Jermaine, shout out J. Cole, the Ting Lu, who is really, really good into her team, because she has Iron Thorns, which is could definitely be an issue, but fortunately, Ting-Lu kind of just walls it forever. She also had Pincurchin, which she wanted to bring. Got my ground type immune to the electric moves. Also stuff like Zoroark. What else? Hydreigon. Strong dark types that I can just send out Ting-Lu and I can resist hits and stuff. Also Mew, which can run a lot of different things, but it's nice to have a psychic immunity at the very least. So we got leftovers just for the extra recovery. Whirlwind, again, in case any setup shenanigans, I can just get stuff out. Earthquake for damage, can hit stuff like, should one-shot Iron Thorns, and also just, get chip on, like, most things she wants to send out. Have Protect, just to, so I can get extra leftovers recovery if I need to. And Stealth Rocks. I was kind of back and forth over should I use Rocks or Spikes, but I ended up deciding with Rocks because I figured I would be better versus the Volcanion, because Volcanion is very scary for my team. And I figured, well, if Volcanion's weak to Rocks, so it would be really nice versus it, unless of course it runs Boots. But then if it's running Boots, then that's a little less scary for me because that means it's not running an offensive item. So I was honestly okay with that. And plus, she also had some ground immunities that wouldn't take damage from spikes anyway, so I decided on Rocks. Just a pretty standard bulky build. Little investment in both physical defense and special defense, just enough to take like hits from Iron Thorns really well, and also switching stuff like Hydreigon fairly easily and all that stuff. Next we got Kendrick the Salamence, who I decided to run a fast bulky set, which is a little strange. Also a special attacker. So the idea behind this set basically, so I wanted a few things, right? I wanted to be faster than Hydreigon first of all, so that's why I have all the speed, so I can just outspeed in one shot with a Draco. But also, I wanted enough bulk that I could reliably switch into Volcanion, because again, really scary. So we had that. We had the Intimidate for if you want to lower anything's attack, like Sneasler or whatever. Could do that. Got the Boots just so we don't have to worry about hazards. Rocks, all that. We got the Roost for recovery. Draco, Dragon Pulse, and Flamethrower. I mainly wanted to bring Mence because she has no real solid dragon answer, I think, because her only steel type is Earthworm, which isn't going to appreciate Flamethrower, and besides that, the only other thing she has to take on dragons is like Terra Fairy, Meloetta. So I decided, you know what, I'm just gonna go all out, just click my dragon moves. I had the option between Pulse or Draco. I liked having both because I could like click Pulse like on a switch in or something, and then next turn Draco should be able to get the kill. So that was a nice little thing, but also just it's nice to have Pulse if I don't want to drop my special attack or nothing like that. So yeah, and also I'm running special over physical because I figured it'd be a better matchup versus her team. She doesn't have like that many good mons with like good special defense, so I was liking special more than physical this matchup. And then we got ASAP Rocky the Glade, who's running an agility set. So with sharpness, all these moves get boosted, which is super sick. Sacred Sword, she has very few good fighting resists, which is why I decided to bring Glade. We're rocking the black belt just because I feel like Life Orb wasn't really that worth it because of the recoil, and I figured I'm just gonna click Sacred Sword most of the time anyway. I may as well just like boost it a little bit more. Sacred Sword does a lot of damage to her team. It two shots most things, if not just get one shot. I have Night Slash for Mew, which I figured would be her main fighting switch-in. And I was kind of back and forth, like should I run Knock or Night Slash, but I decided on Night Slash mainly because it does more damage to Mew, and also like, well, how many times would it be clicking Knock Off? And most of the time I'm just gonna click Sacred Sword, so I figured it'd just be nice to have that for damage on Mew. And then we have Psycho Cut, which is just for Sneasler. because it would otherwise resist these two moves. That would just like, let me get the easy one shot on it. We're going to max attack with an Adamant Nature, enough speed so that I believe after 1 agility I am faster than Scarf Zoroark, I believe is what that's for. And just a little bit in defense, because why not? I decided to run agility because she does have some fast mons like Sneasler, Hydreigon, Zoroark, that I figured it would be nice if I could be faster than. So that was the thought process behind that. Just get up in agility, and at that point I should be faster than her whole team, besides like Sneasler after if it got like an Unburden boost. But besides that, I'd be faster than everything, and just like be able to do some crazy damage. Then we got Nicki Minaj, the Enamorous, who she also didn't have a lot of good fairy resists. Her only two were Orthworm and Volcanion, so I figured I may as well bring Enamorous. We got Moonblast obviously for the fairy stab, Earth Power to hit Volcanion, and then Mystical Fire to hit Orthworm, because I can't hit it with Earth Power because it's got Earth Eater and all that. Enough speed to outspeed Zoroark. Max special attack, just a little bit in defense. I decided to run Calm Mind. I was a little like back and forth between like Calm Mind or just like Specs. But I decided on Calm Mind because I figured it'd be nice to have a boost, because some things could take a hit on our team. But I figured after, if I was +1, that most things would just get 1 shot or 2 shot. And also I kind of like the Spadef boost because that helped me out a little bit versus stuff like Hydreigon. Made me like a little easier for taking hits against. And then we just got boots for so we don't have to worry about rocks. And last but not least, we have Flaga, the Cryogonal, who's my Terra Captain this week. Bringing Terra Steel because another mon on our team I was a little worried about was that Meloetta, because it did have the Terra Fairy and I was pretty sure she was going to bring it. So I ran this Terra Steel specially defensive set. I figured, whatever. I was mainly, anticipating like Specs or Calm Mind Meloetta, and I figured, with this bulk and the steel typing, I should be able to take pretty much anything from that thing, barring like a Focus Blast. It's also my Rapid Spinner, which is very nice. Recover for the health. Haze, again, for any setup. Flash Cannon, just for like some steel stab, get some chip. If she does Terra Fairy or Meloetta, then that'd be super effective. Also super effective against Frostmoth, but this thing is also very good into, because once it's the steel type, Frostmoth can't really touch it. Just a little bit of physical defense to take Specs Psy Shock from Meloetta, turn it from a 2-hit to a 3-hit KO. I forget what the speed was for. I think this is enough speed to outspeed Frostmoth before a boost. Pretty sure that's what that was for. And yeah, that's basically the team. So now we got that out of the way. Let's get into the actual match, shall we? So first off, turn 1. So I decided to lead Mence mainly because I figured, she doesn't have a good Dragon Switch in. She can go in the Orthworm, but I can Flamethrower that thing. And I would prefer if I could just get some damage off before Meloetta has a chance to come in and turn into a Fairy type. Also, I just realized, actually, before get a little too hasty, let me discuss her team first, because I didn't even mention that. So these 6 dudes, funny enough, these were the 6 mons I was like most worried about and like prepped for the most. I didn't actually expect her to bring all 6 of these mons. I was anticipating like some combination of them, but I didn't figure she would bring all 6 of them, because I just feel like it's kind of a weird team. But sure enough, she did. So I guess she recognized these mons gave my teams trouble, but fortunately, like I said, these were the mons I prepped for the most, so I felt reasonably good about it going in. So yeah, now we got that out of the way. Let's actually get into the match for real. So like I said, I lead Mence because I just want to get some dragon attacks going off. She leads for her freaking Sneasler. So I do have the Intimidate, so I could stay in, but I was a little bit hesitant, because I was like, well, Sneasler, even like a banded Dire Claw could still hurt. I wasn't super keen on, so I figured I have Toxapex, who's like, this whole job is to switch into Sneasler, so I figured I would just switch into it turn 1. However, she switches out her Sneasler turn 1 also. I'm assuming she was worried about like Scarf or something like that, just trying to scout, so she brings in Earthworm, deal with it, which is pretty good play. In hindsight, probably should have stayed in and just clicked the Dragon move. Then I could have clicked Flamethrower next turn, but it is what it is. So I wasn't really expecting the Earthworm to come in though, so at this point I wasn't really sure what to do, because I was like, well, I mean, I could go an Amorous and try to set up, but this thing could have Heavy Slam, so probably not that. Tinglu, you know, this thing could have Body Press, so also Tinglu can't really touch it at all. I mean, I could go for Whirlwind, I guess, but yeah, there's that. Cryogonal can't take, you know, a hit on switching really if she goes for like Heavy Slam or Body Press. So I figured, I mean, I was like, you know, Pex Earthworm can't really do anything too, so I figured I would just like stay in, see if I could do anything. Although in hindsight, probably not the best decision, because it just gets her rocks up, and then I click Liquidation, which does no damage, which probably, you know, shouldn't have been that surprising. So yeah, maybe I should have swapped that turn, but you know, hindsight and all that. Anyway, so now realizing that Pex cannot do anything here, I just decided to go straight to Gallade, because I figured that was the best thing I had to, you know, threaten this thing as she sets up an Iron Defense. And I wasn't really that concerned about it. I was like, okay, well, Sacred Sword still should do a butt ton of damage, even if with the boost defense. Also, I forgot to mention, Earthworm is one of her Terra captains alongside Meloetta, so I believe this thing has Terra Ghost, so it could have turned into a Ghost type, but I wasn't really that like worried about that, because I had Night Slash, so I was like, whatever, honestly. So I just stay in to click the Sacred Sword as she switches out into Sneasler, and it does a billion%, even though it resists, so that's hype. Yeah, at this point, just back out the Pex, because that's, you know, that's the plan. That's always been the plan versus this thing. Just let Pex deal with it. Goes for close combat, and I can tell from that damage that the Sneasler is Choice Banded, which is pretty ideal for me, I think, in this situation, because I prepped mainly for Banded. I wasn't sure if she's going to bring Unburdened or not, but Banded is fine for the most part, because I EV'd Pex specifically to take hits well from Banded. As you can see, CC didn't do that much. I mean, kind of did a lot, but not enough to you know, put that big a dent in Pex. So takes the Rocky Helmet chip, which was, you know, according to plan, obviously, and then she brings in Meloetta, this thing. So I decided to double into Mence, because I figured, you know, probably wasn't going to stay in, even if she did. You know, I could Intimidate, and I wouldn't take that much from the CC. And I just thought, you know, be a good time to get my Mence in, because again, I want to just click the Dragon moves. However, she brings in this thing, and I'm convinced this thing has Terra Fairy, so I'm not too keen to stay in. So I figured I should bring in my Glalie here, because I really need an opportunity to get Gallade in and terrestrialize it, because for as long as it's a Steel type, it's not going to be that useful for me. So, or excuse me, as long as it's an Ice type, because I want to Terra it to change its type, because Steel is much better than Ice. So take some rock damage, because I decided not to run Boots, because I figured, well, once I Terra, I don't really need Boots, right? Because then I would resist the rocks again, which is why it's another reason why I was so eager to Terra this guy. But then things do not go as planned, because she clicks Relic Song, and folks, this was the one thing that I did not prep for, because I was thinking to myself, there is no way on this earth that she brings the pirouette Meloetta, however you say it, because I figured, you know, it's like, I thought it wouldn't be worth it to run Relic Song, and also I thought it was kind of redundant because she already had Sneasler, but she did decide to bring this And we'll see how this plays out. But yeah, this was not what I was expecting to be going up against. So immediately I'm like, well, shoot, if she's running this thing, now she's a fighting type. I can't leave Cryogonal in here. So I switch right out into Salamence. Get off the Intimidate, another Intimidate. Figured I could take a fighting move. She does go for CC and does like no damage. And then this turn she switches out. Again, I think she's just, well, not Scarf, so I don't know why. Or I guess, well, she did have the -2, so that's probably why she swapped. But yeah. I feel like she was being very cautious around my Ments. I think she was like, I was, trying to figure out like what set I was running probably, because Ments is, an issue for her team. So I click Pulse here. Doesn't do very much damage, but that is her resist, so I figured go for Flamethrower this turn if she wants to stay in. But she does make the play into Meloetta, which is probably a smart play by her. Trying to scout out the fire move, because it was, I was probably going to run a fire move for Orthworm. She brings this thing back out, and now I'm a little nervy, because I'm like, okay, I was not expecting this thing to be the physical set, so now I'm not totally sure how to play around this. So I just figured I could go into Pex, and I could eat up the fighting hits and all that. She clicks Relic Song again, and of course gets the sleep because of that Serene Grace. Now in the grand scheme of things, this like wasn't the worst thing that could have happened, because really the main thing I need Pex for is to just come out and sit and just eat up hits. So the fact that it's asleep isn't the worst thing ever, but it is still, it does complicate things a little bit, makes my job a little harder, because I have less, I can't just like stay and click recover with Pex or something. I have to, my options with it are much more limited. So that was unfortunate, but that's just how it goes sometimes. And I mean, if any of my mons were gonna go to sleep, I figured, probably the freaking Pex would be the one I would want asleep. So it's not the worst thing, but it was a bit of a thorn in my side. Anywho, turns into that. Now I'm like, all right. She's been playing so cautiously around my Ments that I'm starting to feel like I don't like. She probably doesn't have anything for my Ments. At least that was my thought process at the time. And I figured, my Pex is asleep. That's not great. I can switch out, try to get some regen, so it's healthy at least. As I bring out my Salamence, I should click Zen Headbutt, which I was not expecting, but makes sense to have that for the Pex. And again, she's been so cautious around this thing that I figured probably doesn't have anything for it, at least not on Meloetta. But then she reveals the Ice Punch, which was not good to say the least. So my Ments goes down. Probably, maybe should have expected something like that in retrospect, but I wasn't thinking about that at the time. I mean, that's good prep by her, and also just like, I guess, I don't know if she was trying to intentionally hide the Ice Punch and try to make me think that Ments was fine versus this thing, or if she was just like happened to be playing that way. But regardless, I was good on her. So now my Ments dies, and this is rough because again, I did not prep for this thing, so I'm trying to really have to improvise here. Like, okay, what's my game plan versus this thing? Because looking at this thing has coverage for my whole team. It's got CC for Tinglu and the Cryogonal. It's got Ice Punch for Ments and Amorous, and it's also got the Zen Headbutt for Gallade. So I really, none of my guys can really switch in on this thing very well. So now I'm like, well, shoot, this is not a good situation. And if you guys can see my timer is ticking. And the timer was, in some sense, kind of my undoing here, because I didn't really have the time to think of what place to make. I just had to go and just hope it worked out. So anyways, bring in Gallade, and I click Agility here because I figured if she stayed in, she'd be faster anyway and get a hit off. And then I could get the agility up, and then at least next turn to be faster than her. And also, if she decided to switch like she did, then I could be faster than whatever comes in. She brings in Mew, which again was our expected Gallade answer. But now I'm faster. I can just click Night Slash, do a ton of damage. She goes for an Iron Defense, which is a little weird. Was not expecting that. But it was, I did kind of figure she'd bring some sort of setup on this thing, because, physical or defensive Mew sets really haven't been that good this gen, because Mew lost most of its recovery, so I suppose that makes sense. But I'm not really that worried about the defense boost, because, Night Slash still doing a lot of damage. So I just stay in and click it again. Doesn't quite get the kill. She clicks Draining Kiss. She does absolutely nothing, because Gallade got that nice special bulk, and also it's not stab, and Draining Kiss just a pretty weak move in general. So I'm guessing her whole idea with this was have the Iron Defense, because I'm assuming she built this to beat Gallade, and just have the Iron Defense to take physical hits better, Draining Kiss for recovery, all that, but unfortunately that's not enough for her. So I just stay in, and Night Slash barely does enough to get the kill, which is great. Now she brings in Donphan, and this puts me in a rough spot, because she has Sturdy, so I can't knock this thing out in one hit. I mean, I don't even think Sacred Sword would have one-shot this thing regardless, but still. And I figure I kind of need Gallade, because Gallade does super puts in work against her team. So I was like, okay, I don't want to stay in. Potentially, have to take an Earthquake and die. That would not be optimal. In hindsight, I don't know if she, had something to hurt me with. Maybe I could have stayed in here and just click Sacred Sword twice. Maybe I could have lived the hit, and then potentially Gallade could have just swept her team. Well, actually, probably not, because her Volcanion was still at full HP, so I probably wouldn't have swept regardless. But I didn't want to stay in anyway, because I wasn't sure what sets she was running, and I figured if she was max attack, she an Earthquake would kill from this range, so I didn't even want to risk that. So I decided to go into Cryogonal here. It takes a lot of damage, but I figured, well, if her Meloetta is physical, Cryogonal's not really that useful to me at this point. And I figured, hey, if she clicks Earthquake, I can get a free switch, maybe do something, which she does, so that's cool for me. And now I finally get to go Terra Steel with this thing. I recover to be at full, which isn't, it's not that useful, but I guess whatever. She brings it back in this thing, clicks Relic Song, turns into that stuff. I click Flash Cannon, trying to do some damage. It does absolutely nothing. I don't know why this thing's so bulky, for no reason, but yeah, so that's not great. And as you can see, again, my timer's ticking, so I don't have time to think that much. I gotta click buttons and pray. So I go into Pex, because I don't really know what else to do, as she reveals the Terra Psychic Zen Headbutt, which I live, but as not ideal. It turns out she was not running Terra Fairy at all, which was a bit of a surprise to me. Anywho, so this, needless to say, does not put me in a good spot. So I switch out my Pex here into Tenglu, try to get some regen on it. She clicks Zen Headbutt, which I take that because I'm a Dark type, obviously. And then she clicks CC, which does a ton of damage. As I click Whirlwind. In hindsight, I really should have clicked Earthquake here. She was, minus defenses, and Earthquake maybe could have killed. Maybe not. I don't know what the calcs are on that, but I think Earthquake should have been my play here, always. But yeah, I don't know. I was timer was going down. I was kind of panicking. I was just like, just click whirlwind, just like get this thing out of here. I don't want to fight it. I just want to just go away. So yeah, that was probably a misplay on my part. Really should have just clicked earthquake there. But anywho, Volcanion comes in. Isn't great for me. I decide to click protect here just to get a little bit of leftovers recovery, because I figured I can. May as well. Going to Cryogonal because I figure, well, this thing's kind of worthless at this point. I mean, I guess I could save it for Donphan, but like, I don't know, it's not the biggest thing ever. Like, I have a Namorous. A Namorous could still like handle it pretty well. So just bring it in on an Earth Power, which, you know, gives me a free switch at least, so that's cool. I don't know what she was I guess she was predicting the Pex switch in. So that was a pretty good predict, but to no avail, because I went into my ground immunity. Anywho, click Rapid Spin here because I figured, you know, I just want to get these rocks out of here at the very least. If I'm just gonna let Cryogonal go down, she clicks Flamethrower, does a lot of damage. But now I decide to go to Pex to see if I can switch around some more, get some more regenerator action going. Flamethrower still does like a good bit of damage to me, but it's fine. Just go into Cryogonal, sack it, because again, I don't really think it's that like worth it against her team, because, you know, if she's running physical Meloetta, then like it doesn't really beat anything at that point. So let it go down, and now I bring out a Namorous. So I'm like, all right, let me just try to get something going here. So click the Calm Mind, because I know Earth Power is not going to one-shot from full or almost full. So I figured, let me get the boost. As she reveals the Sludge Bomb, which is very not good. Does a 1,000,000,000%, even though I'm +1 special defense. So yeah, that's bad for me, but I figured, you know, I'm +1. Earth Power should get the kill at this point. However, going off that damage, she is almost certainly Assault Vest. Also, judging by her moveset, she's got 4 attacking moves, so that is very unfortunate. You know, I mean, that does make sense to run on her team, because, you know, that would be like her best answer for a Namorous. So that's rough. Maybe I could have run Specs instead, and that would have been like better, because I would have just like, you know, I could take just like throw out as much damage as possible. But then again, you know, if I didn't have the freaking Spadef boost, and like Sludge Bomb might have just OHKO'd, so I don't know. I guess, you know, hindsight 2020, whatever. So I don't get the kill. Sludge Bomb kills me. Very sad. So now I go into Gallade, because I figure, well, I can't really, like, neither of these guys can really do much, because you probably die to Steam Eruption, and then you'd probably die to Earth Power, so figure just go into Gallade, hope I'm faster, because I'm not, I don't have enough speed to outspeed max speed Volcanion, so I just kind of was hoping, but I am faster, and I'm able to knock it out with Sacred Sword. Sneasler comes back out, and plan same as always, go into Pex, click Styre Claw, doesn't do that much, and then dies to Rocky Helmet. So that's good for me. And then back out comes this thing, to click Relic Song. I stay in, trying to just like hoping for to wake up from sleep, but no luck. So now I swap to Tenglu, because I'm expecting the Zen Headbutt, which does come out. And then swap back to Pex on the CC, trying to get just like as much regenerator recovery as I can, and also just, you know, get some Rocky Helmet chip. Then I go back to Tenglu on the expected Zen Headbutt, and at this point I'm thinking, okay, should probably you know, getting at what I'm doing here, right? Just like switching back and forth between these two. So here I decide to stay in, because I'm expecting her to click Zen Headbutt again. On my Pex switch in, because, you know, she really can't let me just keep switching back and forth, because if I do that, Pex is going to keep getting health back, and also it's going to take more Rocky Helmet chip. So I decide to stay in, expecting her to predict my switch out to Pex, but she doesn't, and she just clicks CC again. I don't know if she read that, if she like figured I was gonna stay in there, or if like, you know, maybe I guess I should have just kept switching back and forth. I don't know. I figured she would have caught on at that point, but maybe she wasn't willing to risk it. So yeah, Tinglu goes down, which is very fortunate for me. Go to Pex. It's no use. Zen Headbutt does too much. Pex goes down, bring in Gallade, but she's faster, and Zen Headbutt gets the kill. So that is the game. A 3-0 defeat against the Dreaded Witch. So this was, you know, this was not my best showing. I think, you know, I wasn't too happy with this performance. Definitely, I think, you know, the timer put a lot of pressure on me, and the fact that she brought this thing, which I was not expecting at all, you know, I was really like kind of panicking and like, you know, trying to think of something, but you know, I was short on time and I didn't really have much for this thing. I mean, like, good prep on her part, because like looking at it, like, yeah, I really don't have much to take on this thing, but you know, again, I just wasn't expecting it. I figured, you know, just bring the special set or whatever. But yeah, again, I figured I didn't think she would bring it because she already had Sneasler, but I guess that was good foresight on her part. You know, looking back, there was, you know, some things I wish I did differently. Like, I kind of wish maybe I should have brought like Scarf on Gallade instead of running Agility, because, you know, I mean, I figured like I was gonna just be clicking Night Slash mostly anyway, or excuse me, Sacred Sword. So maybe it would have been better to just have the Scarf so I could be faster naturally, not have to worry about getting the agility up. But I mean, you know, then again, I did like do Calyx and stuff like based on like Sacred Sword damage with Black Belt, and you know, I think that did, you know, make the difference in some scenarios, and also, you know, not having the Scarf let me free up my moves and stuff. So I don't know. I mean, you know, hindsight is 2020. All that, there's a lot could have gone differently, but yeah, it is what it is. So, you know, GG's to my opponent. Played very well, but you know, it does sting a bit to lose week one. It's never a good feeling. However, I am confident that we can bring this back. In fact, we will bring this back. The main goal, basically, because I guess, you know, the dream of going undefeated is already dead. But the main goal basically is to make it to playoffs. That's the main thing, because, you know, there's, again, my division is very, very stacked. So I have to win a good few matches in order to qualify. So we'll see if we can make that happen. That's the goal anyway. And then from there, you know, who knows? Maybe, you know, try to win the whole thing. I guess that's typically what you do in a tournament. But you know, we'll see what happens. But anyways, that's the match. Again, GG's to Penny. And yeah, thank you all for watching, and I guess I'll catch you guys for the week 2 match whenever that goes up. So yeah, thanks again, and catch you guys later.